guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, well, welcome to my channel. So today it's one of the first signs of spring, of course, and it is the shedding. It is officially shedding season, and I literally didn't think that I would be in for an hour and a half of brushing, but yet that day I actually brushed her a lot longer than I thought. Well, you know, when it's shedding season, it's shedding season, so there's not much you can do. All this fur has to come out. It's time to change for the nice summer coat, which I'm really excited for. I love when they're actually super shiny and short in the summer, so it's time to get rid of all that fur. I'm using here, it's called strip hair. It is a rubber brush, and it really helps to kind of get rid of all this shedding. You can also use it sideways and use it to after the shower when you're done and just get all the water out of their coat. So it's a good all-around brush. And today we're actually practicing, so I'm gonna just be riding on my own here and see what I can accomplish. So first step here is the mounting block, and I am super thrilled, you guys, because it's been a while since Hazel was an issue at the mounting block. 4 months ago we used to be actually 2 or 3 people to just hold her down so somebody could actually go on top of her, and now I can just do it all by myself, and she doesn't flinch, she doesn't even move. And at this time actually she was actually a little bit hard to start and just push her forward. She just was super content at the mounting block. She didn't really want to move or do anything, so I'm actually really pleased that it is the opposite, so it gives you time to actually be properly seated, get your reins in order, and get all that good stuff done. So it's actually really wonderful what you're able to accomplish over the course of a couple of months, honestly. I have another person riding her as well, and we were both having issues with the mounting block, but we decided that we would work together at it, and then literally it took, I think, 2 weeks and we had it down, and ever since it's never been an issue. So really happy about that. So just doing here a quick warm-up, just bringing her up to speed, getting her to relax, getting her to engage. So that's what we're doing. Today's goal is just to have fun, honestly. I didn't have lots of set goals for this one. We'll be working on the bend, the shape, and the collection, but other than that, it's just to have fun together. It was such a nice day, it was pretty warm, so we enjoyed our whole ride together, and we're just doing some flat work today. So I realized with this like practice, if you will, that we had a little bit of communication issues with the bit. I guess I didn't tighten my bridle that much. So we had a little bit of like slight communication issues at the beginning, but other than that, she was doing pretty good. So obviously I'm going to be working the canter because that's what we're working on, but I'm going to also try to add some of the bending exercises, try to go to the center line, and things like that, the things that we've actually done in the past. So it's always good to review a few of those things, and then that will help us to achieve perfection. So just a little quiz here, because I was talking to my coach and she does say that she loves to ride with other riders, and I said that I prefer to ride alone. What are you guys' preference? Do you like to ride by yourself, or do you like to ride with others? In my case, it's not I don't like to ride with others. I just love having the freedom of having the whole arena to myself, so I can actually do what I want when I want. Riding with other people, you always have to be aware as to where the other people are. So that's something that, not that I don't like, but it's just that I feel like it's always like something in the back of your mind. You have to be careful, you have to be mindful, and it's just, I don't know, for me, I really enjoy just being by myself, so I don't have to call anything or be aware of anything else. Just being aware of what I'm actually doing with my horse and how she looks and how she's positioned and things like that, and for me that's plenty enough. The other thing is this arena is fairly small, so when you actually have like two horses in there, it becomes, for me, it feels like it's a little cramped, just because my horse is usually like, she's bigger than most horses at the barn, and her strides are also really big. So when other people are there with their smaller horses and smaller strides, and I'm just there, this huge horse in the back there, it's you really have to be careful, you really have to be mindful, and that's something that sometimes makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And the other thing is that I can also film for you guys what I'm doing, which is great when you're by yourself. Like that, you guys can follow the action of just one single rider. So I just want to point out that today we are wearing the Halter Equestrian saddle pad, which I'm actually really, really proud to be a brand ambassador for. The saddle pad is actually amazing. It's made by Ogilvy, and they have embroidered their logo into the back. It's really, really lovely. It's a nice product. I love Ogilvy saddle pads just because they're so easy to wash and care for, and they also offer a great relief for the shoulder blades and things like that for your horse. So really love these products. If you are considering or looking into new saddle pads and new t-shirts for yourself, Halter Equestrian is always a great option, and I invite you to use a promo code if you want to save 15% off your purchase. That we had a little bit of an issue lately has been just the halt. It seems like it's something really simple, and just have your horse stopping and not doing anything, but sometimes I feel for my horse it's something that's a little hard for her. She's always like go go go, and she gets a little bit impatient. So this is one thing that I'm actually working on. As you can see, she just goes sideways, backwards, she just does all this little fun stuff. So I just want her to actually just stand square and just do nothing. And it seems to be the hardest thing for her, is just to stay there, not do anything and not engage. And as soon as she usually gets the halt, I just move on to something else. I do know she doesn't have all the patience in the world. So it's just for her to at least understand the concept that when I'm asking her to just stop square. Just for a second or two to begin with, and then we'll eventually increase the time that she has to just stand for. She has lovely days where she would just stand for hours, but some others where she's just like go 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 into the action. So that's something to be mindful of. As I've said in some of my videos, the thing with thoroughbreds is they are really really like active. They like to be in the action, they like to move. And it's something that's not that bad, but sometimes when you're just asking them to slow down or to stop or do things like that, that's not something that usually computes well with them. They are, bred and basically raised to race, and so speed is always of the essence for them. So it's always good to just take a break, set back, and just enjoy the moment and just get them to pause for a second. when I notice that she has a lot of energy like that, and she's having issues with the stopping and things like that, well, it's time to get some of that energy out. Cantering is always a great way to get that done, especially if you feel like you're in control, you have enough control over your horse. Then cantering is a good exercise for that. We're also still trying to build all the muscle that she needs to canter properly. Obviously, it's light years from what it was like when we began, like about 2 months ago, but I still think we can do better. I still think that we can collect a little bit more in the canter. And so that's what we're reaching for these days, is just to kind of just finish it, have a nice finish, have a nice standard canter as well. What I've noticed that she tends to do is to bolt a little bit or rush into the canter a little bit for the first 3 strides, and then after that balances herself and stays with the rider. But I just hate that feeling when she's just like rushing to go forward. I just want her to just stay always consistent and balanced from the get-go. So that's something I'm working on slowly. I know it doesn't happen overnight. So it's just a little thing that I'm like in the back of my mind, I just want to perfect. And I think it's going to be great, because from there we're going to have access to a lot of different components and elements in dressage. Canter is definitely super important. And so that's why I don't mind spending like 3 months, 4 months on it, 5 months if I have to make it perfect and be able to move on to the next step. You have like canter pirouette, you have lead changes, you have a lot of nice stuff that comes with the canter. And it also helps for like collection, of course, which is something that we always strive for in dressage. So it's canter work is something that you can't go without. Really happy that at least it's getting each and every time I'm riding her is getting a little bit closer to our goal here. So really proud of my girl, really happy with what we've actually accomplished in the past 3 months. And I can't wait to see what our next step is going to be, what's the next headache we're going to have to deal with. You know, some things come easy to you, to your horse, some others you have to work on. For us, trot wasn't that hard. And canter definitely is something that's a little harder, and I think it's due mostly to building the muscle, the proper muscle on me as well as on Hazel, to be able to actually achieve what we want to achieve with it. So what I'm asking her to do before we canter is just to collect herself as much as possible and compress the trot, and just go from that compressed trot to the canter. So we get some actually pretty good vibes, and we get actually a better finish like that. I do have to work on the inclination of her canter. I'm thinking that opening my outside rein is going to help me a lot more in getting her to just stay balanced in it and not lean inwards. It's something she really tends to do on her own, like naturally, to just lean inwards. And it's a little bit hard to ride sometimes, just because she does take a huge strides at times in the canter, and you're just like pulled to the inside, which is not always pleasant, because you do have to stay like balanced yourself. You do have to stay like as straight as possible. And yeah, it's not really something that you see a lot on the showgrounds, so we definitely have to work with that. Honestly, other than that though, I think we're almost there, almost to the point where I want it to be for now. We're not doing level 2, level 3 dressage. We're at the very, very beginning here. So any steps or every steps is always an accomplishment in itself. So straightness is something that's really important as well. You'll see us do a lot of circles, and the circles are great because they help to perfect some of the gaits, but you also have to be as good in the straight lines. So that's something I do a lot with Hazel as well. I do feel like it's gotten better. I think it can be even better than that. But here I'm just having fun, just changing leads, pushing her over, doing some side passes, and see how flexible she is, and if she's gonna let me just do the side pass at the trot and such. So we're just having a little bit of fun. Obviously it's not in a lesson context, so I like to just change it up for her and see what she can offer to me. She's not like obviously by any means perfect by going diagonally, but at least it's one step further from what we were used to be doing. We used to be doing straight side passes, so she would just stay in a straight line and just move laterally. Now we're trying to just incorporate that and just give a little bit of more bend into it, and just get her to just push over at the trot, which is totally brand new to her. So I'm actually really excited because it's been a hot minute since we haven't practiced them. She used to get so frustrated with the side passes, so that's why I didn't really work that much on it, and it wasn't like a requirement for my lessons either. But I think I'm going to start incorporating them a little bit more because it's always great to be able to do that, especially moving on to the spring where there are going to be way more riders over the weekend, as well as outdoors. We do have one nice sand ring outside, but we're all sharing it, so we'll see how it goes for the summer, but it's always good to be able to move your horse laterally as well. was reading an article about dressage the other day, and it did say that you have to practice your exhale salute. It's to your advantage. It's easy points to win when you're at a show. You just have to practice it. Make sure your horse is standing square in the middle. So that's something I always do towards the end of my riding, just when I feel like my horse is more focused. I'll just try it a couple times and just get her to just stand square, which is not having that much of an issue compared to the beginning. She's not challenging me as much. Now what I'm trying to do with her is to get her to lower her head a little bit, just because usually people, like the horses that are doing the exhale salute, are ready to move forward, and in her case she's just like head straight up in the air, nose straight up in the air, and there's not a lot of giraffes doing the exhale salute. So that's something I have to work on with her a little bit more, is just to kind of just lower her head a little bit. So my next strategy for that is I think I'm gonna just ask her to back up a couple steps. That way usually she lowers her head, and then see if I can catch it that way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm super happy to have you guys here and witness every single step in our journey. This time I tried to just not speak as much for you guys, so you can enjoy the view a little bit and see the action, and just try to see if there's anything that you guys are doing and you want to fix with your horse as well. Well, thank you again for coming by, and I'll see you guys very soon.